DCR, the sound and the voice of the White Cliffs country on 104.9.
Quizzes. Everyone loves a good quiz, don't they? There's so many quiz shows on television. There's pub quizzes. There's quizzes with your family at Christmas. So, when I heard that a quiz trail for Dover was being launched, I went to the launch at the museum and picked up a copy. And now I'm talking to Liz Foster, who creates these quiz trails. Now, we're sitting in the open air, so let's hope that passers-by and, of course, the magnificent Dover gulls don't make too much noise. Liz, tell me all about your project.
Hello, hi. So Quiz Trails is something that my daughters Becky, Laura and myself make together. We create them. It started back in Rochester a couple of years ago. We knew so much about Rochester and wanted to do a sort of little history book, but I thought, well, if we do a history book, there's plenty of history books, and we didn't want to make things too in-depth and too heavy. So we thought if we made a fun trail around Rochester, pointing out things that we see along the way that you might just walk past, because we all tend to walk along just looking straight ahead and not seeing things always around us. So we made the Rochester Quiz Trail, and then lockdown came. So there we were with our lovely new book and nobody could go out. So during the 6 months I was furloughed on full pay, so I spent that 6 months researching lots of other towns in Kent and got absolutely addicted to discovering all the fabulous history. So from there, once lockdown eased a bit and people were able to go out, they started doing the Rochester Trail, enjoying it. We were getting lovely feedback from families. So we went on and we've now got 22 quiz trails, and 16 are in Kent. There's a couple in Surrey, and we've got Eastbourne and Rye as well. And we just get lovely feedback from people that we've got adult clues in the book and children's clues, so we include the whole family, and Great Value Day Out. Everybody's given us really nice feedback, so we carry on exploring and discovering.
Do you live in Kent yourself?
Yes, I live at Oldham, so I'm near to Leeds Castle, that sort of area of Maidstone. But we go miles everywhere, all over. We're currently working on a Sittingbourne trail, so we're looking forward to that one coming out soon. So, loving exploring it everywhere.
Did you actually grow up in Kent?
I didn't, no. I grew up, I'm a Watford girl, so I'm Watford United's only fan left. No. And then, mostly lived in Epsom, so lived there for 20 years, raised my children. And then I'd always said to people for years, as soon as my children have grown up and left home, I'll be moving myself down to Kent, because I'd always loved coming here. Canterbury's got a lovely atmosphere about it. Rochester had the same atmosphere, and so as soon as they did leave home, I did no more than move myself to Kent, and that was about 8 years ago. So up sticks and moved here.
So you are in fact a team with your daughters. You might like to give them a name check.
Yeah, Becky and Laura. So the three of us go out, make the trails together. It always involves eating lots and laughing lots, and so we try and find little hidden alleyways and places. We do the history before we make the trail, because once we've researched the history, that tends to give us then the route to take, so that you can include all the things you've discovered along the way. So the three of us will go out. They're still one lives in Epsom still, and Laura does, and Becky lives near to Gatwick, that sort of area. And so we meet up, and it's a nice way as well to spend time together, the three of us. And we've also got a son as well, but he ran away to America and married an American lass. So
that seems to happen a lot in recent times.
Exactly, yes, he does. Yes. He's full of royalty. But we're in touch all the time with modern technology. It's lovely. But so the three of us spend time together, and we go out, make the trails, enjoy that. Becky's a graphic designer, so she puts them all together and makes our scratchy pictures into wonderful works of art. So
So you had this idea, you created your first trail. Was it easy to get your book published?
No, we print them ourselves. We get them printed ourselves. So we work sort of on our own. What we do is we create them, do the artwork, get them printed, and then the aim is to sell enough to get our printing money back. So that's sort of how we work, and we keep them deliberately low cost. They're $5.99 each, and we deliberately keep them low cost so that more people can do them. Because I know there are some town trails or city trail in Canterbury that's £10 I think, or £12, but we'd rather keep them low priced, and then a family can have a lovely time out, more people can do them, and it makes a great value trip out. It takes a couple of hours, and then you've got time for an ice cream and some lunch and whatever you might want to do with the rest of your day, but hopefully along the way you've had a laugh and learnt some history of the local areas.
Yes, some friends of mine had done one of your tours in Deal and they had a fantastic time, so that was a really good reference for you. How do you find your retailers?
Well, that is a case of actually just going out and walking around with books and talking to people, and so yeah, it's just looking around. And so, but a few recently we're starting to find that some of the places are coming to us and asking us to create a trail. So for example, the Kent Coalfields we're working on at the moment, which we're really enjoying and excited about, that's a cycling trail, so we haven't done one of those before, but that's going from Betshanger Museum and cycling through beautiful Kent countryside, seeing places like Goodnestone Park and where the old pits were, and telling lots about the history of the area, again without being too in depth, and nobody wants to read an encyclopedia. It's a snippet of what was it like to be a coal miner. It still makes me shiver to think of going like 3,000 feet underground I couldn't bear it. I admire those that did it because they kept us all warm with the heating and the industry going with all the coal, but
Yes, I know that will be a really good cycling trail. I know that area quite well. So moving on to Dover, you decided that you wanted to do one about Dover. So how did you go about that?
So with Dover, the thing with Dover I always felt was Dover gets a bad press. So we've got all the Brock and the queues up the M20, and we've had obviously the immigration matters, and so Dover's always got a bad press, and I don't think people were aware that behind that sort of road of the A20, once you go into Dover, it's absolutely fascinating. It's got a marvellous history, it's beautiful places, and there's some lovely green areas, and also I had never appreciated that they've got a beach at Dover. You hear people going off to the seaside, and you don't hear them saying I'm going to the seaside at Dover, but there is a beach area there, isn't there?
Dover has one of the most fantastic and clean promenades, and it's very, very long.
Yeah.
And you will have, when you were doing your research, you will have seen the new marina, which is going to open this year, and millions have been spent on the seafront.
Absolutely, and it's all landscaped with waves, and it's fantastic. And I mean, there are so many memorials there as well, because obviously, massive history, isn't it, in the world, in the country. Such an important place over the years that all the battles were fought from and things. So yeah, we loved it. It was so interesting, and even the Maison du and everything there, people just don't know about these places. So it's really nice to have sort of opened up the history of the area. But we got lots of help as well from the lovely Dover greeters. So we had Denise and Liz, they helped us lots with the research and the history and showing us what was there and everything. But even little things like you go around the back of the Maison du and you've got a little doorway, was the prison. Would you know that if you just went to Dover and walked around, you wouldn't know that was the old prison and that sort of thing. So that's kind of the things we like to point out, so that if you just walk around, instead of just walking around, you can actually see what went on there. And so yeah, it was lovely. We've really enjoyed making that one.
We at DCR know Denise and Liz very well, but how did you find the Dover greeters? Was it just good old Mr. Google and a bit of tenacity, or were you given a lead?
Denise contacted me. A few customers had been in touch and said, because we ask for suggestions, because obviously we want to make trails where people want to go and visit. So we asked for suggestions, and a few people had said to us a Dover trail would be great. And then it was Denise got in touch and said the same thing, a Dover trail would be great. And so we got into that and really, really enjoyed it. Went to met Liz and Denise and found everybody's been brilliant. The museum have been really great, and the library, everybody's helped us. So we've had a lot of help. Dover Council were really supportive as well. So yeah, it's been a really nice experience working together. And obviously we're looking at our trails as long term, so we don't just make them and think, oh, that's that and off we go. We will keep on with the trail, keep an eye on it, make sure that things don't change, because that's the other thing. We keep getting caught out with banks. Banks are dreadful. We think, oh, we'll put a clue on that building. That's a lovely old bank. That'll be there still for another 100 years. No, they're going and then change it into flats or something and take away our clue. So we obviously will keep an eye on things as we go and reprint again in the future. We'll tweak things and change them and update. And so yeah, so it's all very long term. The history isn't changing.
I think in that respect, we're sitting here in Kearsley Abbey, looking at the swans on the lake,
Beautiful.
which is one of Dover's hidden gems.
Absolutely.
And I don't believe you'd actually been here before.
No, I wasn't aware of here. So when we do a reprint of Dover, we'll definitely include it, because I think I mean, look at it, it's packed today. It's March and chilly day, sunny, but packed with people. So yeah, I imagine in summer it's very full.
So in Dover, where can people go to buy your wonderful guide?
Well, at the moment it's available in the museum, so they've got them for sale in the museum at Dover Museum, and that's a fascinating place to visit. Go and see the big bear in the museum, and the boat. But yeah, in the museum shop at the front there, they've got them for sale.
And do you sell online?
Yeah, we've got our website, and we're at www.quiztrail.co.uk. So, and that's all our trails are available online. And at the moment, we've got an offer of 20% off everything you buy. So a nice spring offer.
Well, I'm sitting here with one of your books, Quiz Trail books in hand. I mean, there's a huge amount of information in here. I mean, I think you presented it really clearly and simply, and in little chunks, so you could read bits out to your children or your friends.
Yeah, we tried to make it like a magazine style, really, because, as I say, nobody
Yes.
wants to sort of sit and read a great big in-depth pages. Well, some people do. Oh, I don't mean to say nobody does, but if we made it like a magazine, it is a pick up, put down. So you go and do the trail, take it home, and you've got something to read at home about where you've been, which is good.
Yeah, I think that's really nice, because some of it you can read out while you're doing it, because it's in front of you, and then when you've actually done your trail, you might go home and think, oh, I'd like to know a bit more about this, that, and the other. Well,
that's it.
I genuinely think it's a great book. I mean, I studied geography at university, so I am a bit keen on towns and histories and things like that.
Of course, yeah, it's fascinating.
So anyway, people know how to contact you. Go to the museum, have a look at the book, and thank you very much, Liz, for coming to talk to us today.
Thank you very much, Christopher. Cheers. Thank you.
This is DCR.